Welcome back to Sunday Sound Off, our first hot topic of night. Oh, this will be good. With 6 games left, would you switch quarterbacks? Tim.
Saying all along that there's no such thing as a quarterback controversy because everybody knows who should be starting. Right now, I don't know who should be starting. Watching Alex Smith play today and really the last couple of weeks, he's hesitant. He's not making the correct reads. Like Blair said, he's not tucking it, running, making plays with his feet. So, I mean, this is a tough situation, but Andy Reid's going to have to make a decision. Does Foles give me the best chance to win, or does Smith give me the best chance to win? Now, granted, right now the Chiefs are 7-3 with a really good chance of still winning this division. I think they're about 50%. Maybe might drop a little bit below that, depending on what the Raiders do on Monday night in New Mexico City. But, you know, do you take the guy out who's won 7 of 10 games, or do you put the guy in that maybe has an upside that can make some plays? Tough decision. I'd stick with Alex for one more game or 2 more games and then see what happens. If they lose a couple, then they put Foles in.
Blair.
Most popular guy in town is always the backup quarterback, but in this case, I think you stick with Alex Smith. Alex Smith has been with Andy Reid for 4 years. Nick Foles has been there since August. You know, we saw 2 games where Nick Foles has appeared. The Indianapolis game where he played well in relief of Alex Smith, and then in Jacksonville where the offense struggled once again, and a lot of throwing off the back foot that day, and just some awkward throws from Nick Foles against the Jaguars. It's been a tough go here the last couple weeks for Alex Smith. Is it 1 offensive touchdown in 2 games for the Chiefs with Alex Smith at quarterback? I think, but I still think it's Alex Smith gives you the best chance to win down the stretch.
Soren?
Well, first of all, Nick Foles was brought here. He's making $1.5 million this year. That says he's not supposed to be the guy this year, but the option is for $10 million. They're serious about Nick Foles. He was not brought in here because it's just a security blanket. There's the thought in their head that that's the guy that they will go with moving forward. Make no mistake about that. The contract makes that clear. Look, I've had a lot of people get upset when I bring up, hey, would Alex Smith make this throw, or does Nick Foles do this? And everyone's like, why are you trying to create a quarterback controversy? I can't create anything. I'm a media fatty, okay? I sit and watch the games, and I babble about them. They create the controversy based upon how they play. Alex Smith is not playing well. This is the 26th offense in the NFL coming into this game. God only knows what it's going to be when I look at the stats on Monday morning. But Blair made a great point. You know, he said, well, Alex Smith's been here for 4 years. Exactly. He's been here for 4 years with Andy Reid, and here's Nick Foles, who's been here for, 10 minutes, and he's all caught up. What will he look like in 4 years? You have to wonder that. Do you switch quarterbacks? Not right now, but if he does not perform, he being Alex Smith, against the Denver Broncos, yes, it's time to change quarterbacks.
And here's our second hot topic of the evening. How does this loss change your playoff outlook? Blair.
Yeah, it does change the outlook, but only temporarily. Look, the Broncos didn't play this weekend. The Raiders haven't played yet this weekend. They've got the Texans tomorrow night, and then the Chiefs play at Denver on Sunday. So much can change in just a matter of a few days. But, yeah, I left Carolina last week thinking the Chiefs had the inside track on winning the AFC West and maybe getting the number 2 seed at least in the AFC playoffs. And now, look, I look at this game tomorrow night, this Texans-Raiders game. The Chiefs are already behind the Raiders, and if the Texans win this game, the Chiefs and the Texans will have the same record, but the Texans will have the tiebreaker over the Chiefs. They're slipping by the day here. So, yes, and look, the Chiefs, toughest part of the schedule coming up over the next few weeks. Trips to Denver and Atlanta, you know, return game with Oakland. I think the tougher stretch is coming up for Kansas City.
Soren?
Lots been made of Andy Reid having five-game win streaks in each year that he was here. Let's go back to 2014. Started 2-3, won 5 in a row, got out to 7-3. We were thinking playoffs, and they promptly dropped 3 in a row. How did they drop 3 in a row? They lost to a Raider team that wasn't very good right before they played the Denver Broncos. That's the other thing. Against the Denver Broncos, when he doesn't have a bye week, look-ahead situations, when the Broncos are on the schedule next, Andy Reid's just 2-2 today, makes him 2-3. In 14, they went in the tank for 3 straight losses, fell to 7-6, and ultimately finished 9-7. Is this that same season? Is it the rebound, the yin and yang to the 11-5 season, the way 14 was to 13? Is that what 2016 is? I don't know yet. Let me see how they come back against the Denver Broncos. This Bronco team's not as good as the 14 team. Get a win at Denver, I think it's full speed ahead, and they're a dangerous team in the playoffs. Lose to the Denver Broncos, they're the same simpleton team that they've been for a lot of their time, which is a team that can get to the playoffs but can't make much noise.
Tim?
Yeah, I agree with Soren on that last point. I really think that they're gonna make the playoffs, but this loss could cause them to go on an airplane to a playoff game instead of going in their cars to a playoff game at Arrowhead Stadium. Listen, they're gonna make the playoffs. The AFC Central's a dumpster fire. It's a disaster. The AFC East isn't much better. There's some good football teams in the AFC West that are competitive, and the Chiefs have to play those teams. But I think the Chiefs make the playoffs. But the unfortunate thing, and really unfortunate for the Kansas City Chiefs fans, is they're not going to have a playoff game here at home because of maybe this loss, and you go to Atlanta and lose, and some of those losses. They'll make the playoffs, but what about a game at Arrowhead? This severely hampers the ability for them to have a playoff game at home.
Yeah, and if they do a one and done and they're out, Alex Smith is done. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And to our final hot topic, do you expect KU to follow up the Texas win a competitive game against K-State? Soren?
Nope, I sure don't. Look, great win by the Kansas Jayhawks. Love seeing David Beatty get that win, but you got to learn how to win, and you got to learn how to win often. They finally got a win. I think it's celebration time. I think they come flat the rest of the way here. This was a giant win for KU, but you got to learn how to then put another win behind that win. How not to have a letdown. So no, I don't expect him, because partially let's give some credit to Bill Snyder. This ain't his first time at the rodeo. He knows what he's doing. He is probably the better X&O coach. I don't think any of us would probably argue with that right now. And personnel-wise, he's got more personnel, and he prioritizes this game. When KU shows some traction, he wants to put them down. I think he'll do that in this game, but great win for the Jayhawks. Love seeing it happen.
Tim?
Absolutely love seeing David Beatty get this win against Texas, especially a guy from Texas, and that is supposedly the signature university, the signature football program in the state of Texas. I think a lot of people disagree with that now, but let's face it, University of Texas is the football program when you're talking Texas college football. But I do think that this Kansas City, the University of Kansas football team has a really good defense. They're a defensive Big 12 football team now, with Wise and Armstrong and Lee and Fish Smithson. They have some good football players that are playing hard. Depending on what you call it, competitive. I think they keep it with probably under 21.
Okay, Blair?
They'll keep it close for a half, and I'll just add that the great thing about this Kansas win was, I think up until Saturday, we saw that this Kansas team, we couldn't distinguish it really from last year's team. They played TCU close. They did that last year. They played Texas Tech competitively. They did that last year. What was the difference between this year's Kansas team and last year's Kansas team? They finished a game, and they finished a game at home against a quality opponent. And so, to me, that shows progress in the Kansas program. Even more progress would be stay on the field with Kansas State for a half, and let's see what happens there.
Yeah, and they got a coach fired. So it's nothing better than that. Up next, this is the scary part. We're going to get some final thoughts from the panel. It's their time to sound off on anything that's on their minds. You're watching Sunday Sound Off.